This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea, I'll see the sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, shine,
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Yep. No doubt about that. I mean, let's just be realistic. That has always been the case in point. Anyways, today is Wednesday, which is a great Whip 'em Out Wednesday, October the 1st of 2025, day 274th of the year, and only 91 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, infiltration in Radio Big is kind of the way that it goes. Oh, do we still got music?
I'll be your sunshine.
Yep, we do. Okay, yeah, so a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multi. That is kind of how it goes around here. We talk a little bit about this, we talk a little bit about that, and then we give you some level of encouragement based on everything that's going on. No doubt about that one. As we are talking. So with that being said, let's talk real quick about how our show works. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety is kind of the way that it goes. So if you're here and you're hanging out with us, here's how it goes. As we do this, I will talk a little bit about what's going on with the world of the news. We'll give you a level of a main story. We'll bring in some professional broadcasters that know exactly what they're talking about. And then we kind of go through that whole thing. That's it. That's the great portion of the show. If you go to callinradio.com, you'll get to interact with the show. Video, audio, and text messaging. Video, audio, and text messaging. I know the people that are here all the time kind of go, why do you repeat this every day? I get that. But for people that have never been here before, we need to understand the layout of the land. So that's it. That is the
Equinox
of everything that we need to discuss. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it. Well, then we can continue talking. So with that being said, why don't we do this? Why don't we start looking at what the hell was trending in the overnight? Because some people are going to want to care about that.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy. North Korea doubles down. Also, federal prosecutors want Diddy to do some serious time. More about that in showbiz. And then Jimmy Kimmel's viewership drops, which I kind of would expect that to happen because, The controversy is no longer there. Also, let's see. We'll talk about that in casting calls. And then what else? New security measures upend dog walking routes in Windsor. We'll talk about that in details about the Royals. So anyways, before I forget, because I want to make sure that I do make a reference to it, thanks for all the people that came out yesterday and hung out in the Lunch and Learn. That was a good time in regards of everything that was going on. At least it felt like it was a good time. Hopefully you had as much fun as I did going over all the stuff. So thank you for the people that came out, hung out, and all that stuff. If you weren't there, well, hey, maybe next time, if there is a next time, we can do some more. You never know how this is going to go in the first place. So there you go. So I thought it was kind of interesting in regards of people taking a listen, downloading the stuff that we were giving away and all that kind of fun stuff. But some good questions came about. I was told at the end, because I didn't realize that there was 2 questions that I left on the board, but I must have already cleared everything. I thought I had cleared everything, because that's when I was saying, okay, peace out. But sorry for the 2 questions I didn't get to. I'm sure at some point I'll be able to take a listen and go, oh yeah, but then I won't know who the hell wrote them. So there you go. That's the way that it goes. Anyways, with that being said, I have my friends from Feature Story News ready to go. They're waiting to come and talk to you about what the hell's going on with the news. So let's do that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. EU leaders are gathering to discuss drones, security and Ukraine at a summit in the Danish capital, Copenhagen. The meeting comes after numerous violations of EU airspace by drones and Russian jets in recent weeks. Ross Cullen reports.
Security is high here in Denmark, with parts of the capital on lockdown, an increased police presence and a German Navy frigate also here in a show of support. Denmark has banned all civilian drone flights for the summit after repeated incursions by flying objects into Danish skies and across wider Europe. Drones have been seen in Poland and Romania, and 2 Russian MiG fighter jets recently spent 12 minutes flying over Estonia. EU leaders will discuss countering this threat from Russia with a so-called drone wall, try to get final sign-off on a new package of sanctions on Moscow, and work out how to use frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine financially. Ross Cullen, Copenhagen.
Officials say up to 60 people have been killed after a magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck the Philippines. Affected areas are still assessing the extent of the damage caused by the quake. Rebecca Bunden reports.
The earthquake struck off the coast of the city of Cebu in the central Philippines before 10 p.m. local time on Tuesday. Search and rescue operations are continuing, and visuals from local media show people being treated outside hospitals. Hundreds of aftershocks have hit the area. A tsunami advisory has been issued. The full extent of the damage and the numbers killed in the quake are not yet known. A state of calamity has been declared for affected areas. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in a statement urged people to remain alert and cooperate with local authorities. Rebecca Bunden, Mumbai.
Investigations are continuing after the South African ambassador to France was found dead in Paris. The body of Natium Tetwa was found at the foot of a hotel tower in the west of the city, having booked a room on the 22nd floor. From outside the hotel in the French capital, Ollie Barrett has this report.
Investigators continue to work, they say, to try and establish the circumstances of his death. They have released those initial statements, which are quoted by French media, in which one of the magistrates in this city says that she believes that this was a deliberate act, that there was no indication initially that there was any other person involved, and that the signs at least point towards a suicide, and that is partly related to the message that we understand that the ambassador's wife received from him on Monday that led her to believe that he was potentially planning to take his own life. All of that said, investigators say that they will continue to try and establish the facts around the case.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, what are the prospects of Hamas accepting President Donald Trump's 20-point peace proposal for Gaza that has been embraced by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? Hamas leaders in Gaza are reviewing the terms of the agreement. They are under enormous pressure to accept it, not only from the US and Israel, but also from many European leaders. But freelance reporter Nogatana Polsky in Jerusalem wonders if they will agree to get behind it.
Hamas's raison d'etre is to be an armed fighting force eliminating the state of Israel. That's in their charter. So the first very bitter pill to swallow will be a kind of demilitarization, to lay down their arms. The details of that haven't been set, but laying down their arms for Hamas is really an existential matter. There's another question, which is that this deal stipulates that all the Israeli hostages, alive and dead, will be released within 72 hours. My understanding is that that means 72 hours of signing the deal. It would require Hamas to give up their number one asset, their number one leverage, which is that they're holding Israeli citizens.
And as we heard earlier this week, there are also real questions about whether far-right figures in Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet will endorse the proposal. It would allow Hamas fighters safe passage out of Gaza to a third location. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, EU leaders are gathering to discuss drones, security in Ukraine at a summit in the Danish capital Copenhagen. It follows recent Russian violations of EU airspace. Officials say up to 60 people have been killed after a magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck the Philippines. And investigations are continuing after the South African ambassador to France was found dead in Paris. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Embrace a daily boost of nature with Field of Greens. Discover the simple power of one scoop to elevate your well-being. Enjoy the flavor that appeals to you the most and let the blend of organic fruits and vegetables enhance your life. Experience the following benefits with Field of Greens. noticeable energy increase to power you throughout the day,
Improved quality of sleep.
enhanced digestive comfort, and a general uplift in your wellness. Field of Green stands out with the selection of organically grown ingredients, each carefully picked for its benefits to your heart and overall health. We are confident that you'll appreciate the benefits of Field of Greens. If it doesn't meet your expectations, we offer a straightforward money-back guarantee. Jumpstart your health journey with a special offer, 15% off your first purchase plus complimentary expedited shipping. Just visit fieldofgreens.com and use the code SAFETYFM to redeem your discount. That's SAFETYFM at fieldofgreens.com. Experience nature's touch at fieldofgreens.com/SAFETYFM. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse of ours as we are hanging out on this lovely Wednesday, 17 minutes past the top of the hour, doing our thing. That is for sure. Okay, so let's start getting into everything that we need to talk about. So let's start talking about
settling up.
So let's settle up. Add YouTube to the list of companies paying big money to settle lawsuits brought by President Trump. The Google subsidiary agreed to pay $25 million to settle the case, which Trump brought 2021 after his account was suspended following the January 6, 2021. Meta and X both settled similar suits earlier this year. This is according to CNBC. That's CNBC. So there you go. Also, in some other news, North Korea's government doubled down on its intention to pursue nuclear weapons this week. Vice Foreign Minister Kim Song-jong spoke before the UN General Assembly, arguing, though, that his country's weapons program, the balance of power on the Korean Peninsula, is ensured. So there you go. The speech follows the meeting between Chinese and North Korean diplomats late last week that signaled a strengthening alliance between the two forces, a likely nod to commie parents to the United States. Kim continued with a theme in the speech, saying that it's an ongoing military cooperation and exercise between the U.S., South Korea, and Japan, and breaking all the previous records in terms of scale, nature, frequency, and scope. This is all according to NBC News. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. What do you think? What about this one? What do you think about this one? Maybe you'll like this one a little bit more. Law enforcement in Macon, Georgia, wrangled a 12-foot alligator into custody that had been hanging out at the McDonald's parking lot over the weekend. So curious bystanders first approached the gator and tried to duct tape the snout shut, to some success, though the professionals arrived in time to take care of the situation. One worker at the establishment said that the gator had been hanging around for a few days. I think it's hungry, she said. Meanwhile, a rep for the local sheriff's office advises against getting too chummy with wild alligators, even if it's a crowded area. They decided that they're going to tape the gator's mouth and take selfies. That's a little dangerous. That's a little dangerous. This is according to 13 WMAZ. Yeah, 13 WMAZ is kind of giving us the layout of the land on what that sounds like. But yeah, what an interesting time. You just decided that, hey, out of the ordinary here, I'm going to decide to close down the snout of this thing, take some selfies, and say, hey, let's call it a day. Oh, and maybe now that we're at it, maybe we should call in some pros in regards of what is going on. I don't know. Makes it some interesting times, that's for sure, as we are talking about this whole thing. No doubt about that. Okay, so hold on. Let's see if we can get you over here, because I'm always kind of curious on what the hell's going on with some of these oddities, if I may put it that way, in regards to some of the things that are happening. So let's get the alligator story, because I think it's a good idea.
An update on a special visitor that skipped the swamp and went straight for the drive-thru. A weekend-long gator watch had Macon residents crowding a McDonald's parking lot on Rocky Creek Road. For the past couple of days, the Bibb Sheriff's Office
look at this thing.
Sightings of a 12-foot
that thing looks gigantic
near the business's drive-thru. It all escalated today when curious onlookers were seen wrangling the gator before multiple law enforcement agencies responded.
Law enforcement, which makes it even more interesting.
And neither was the gator. A strange sight stopped.
This gator thing is doing that twirl, that weird circle thing they do.
Drive-through lane, but a 12-foot bayou beast. Mandy Jackson says she's seen
seems like they tied it with a shirt
times this weekend while clocked in for her shifts at McDonald's.
We have an alligator that's been here for 2 days. It's not going to be the first alligator. It's not going to be the last. But I think the alligator is hungry. I think it's hungry.
While we know the creature did not get his hands on a Big Mac, as the gator hung out, so did the crowds.
People that hadn't seen an alligator out here before. I have not seen any out here, but I've seen them down at the city landfill when I've been down there. But that's why they quit letting people go to the landfill, because they don't want to get down next to alligators.
People pulled over.
Good idea there.
Record videos and get a look at the restaurant's most unusual visitor.
It's amazing. It's a very, very, surprising.
People even seen here.
Yeah, I mean, it's got somebody just put it. Okay, hold on.
Before law enforcement responded.
That's crazy. That's crazy. People jumping in trying to wrangle that thing.
That they come out and they
there's probably 30, 40 people around this gator. Probably even more.
They're going to tape the gator's mouth and take selfies. That's very dangerous.
And after more than 2 days, a local trapper finally captured the gator Sunday night, just after 8:30. While no injuries have been reported, it's a reminder that even in central Georgia, wildlife sometimes wanders far from home.
Call us and let the professionals have it removed.
Call us and let the professionals handle it.
We want everyone to be safe. We don't want anyone to get hurt.
And that gator is now on its way to a private pond in Lawrence County. Bibb County Animal Control told us earlier this summer
what an
gators
interesting
are
time.
Relocated to specific places approved by the Department of Natural Resources to prevent people from hunting them.
Okay, so there you go. Gator, welcome to Gatorland. So there you go. I mean, I guess it's so common for me to be able to see them. And I'm not saying because some people get confused, meaning, they're just walking around all over the place in
Free at Safety FM.
In Florida, but they're not. They're not walking all over the place. So just a little FYI for a moment there. So there you go. Thank you to 13 WMAZ for the info. Also, for the first time in the event history, a team of Americans has won the Mondial du Fromage in France, better known as the Cheesemonger Olympics. Amelia de Alberto from Philly and Courtney Johnson from Seattle teamed up to form the first ever all-female American team for the event. De Alberto won the series of challenges at the global event, including blind tasting, building the cheese sculpture, creating the themed cheese plate, and cutting challenges. I did the whole competition with 2 knives and a wire cutter, De Alberto tells local media. She is the student of Philly Cheese School. Yes, it's a thing, and it runs popular on TikTok channel about cheese. This is according to CBS Philly. You get it? CBS Philly. So hold on. There's a school, a cheese school. She's a student of Philly's Cheese School. Whatever. I mean, whatever it is, bud. So there you go. What else do we got? Okay, let's see. Police officers in Northern California pulled over a Waymo taxi after it made an illegal U-turn over the weekend, but were unable to issue a citation as there is no driver and their tickets don't have a robot option. Waymo has contacted regarding the incident and promises to fix the glitch. The glitch were given. Many of the social media felt that the company should pay the fine, while others wanted to know how the officers got a driverless car to pull over. That's a good question. How do you get a driverless car to pull over? Like, do you just pull out in front of it and say, screw it, bud, you need to get over? I mean, I don't know. By the way, so this one's provided by, by the LA Times. And the LA Times, wants to charge for their stuff, so there is no video, just in case, as we are talking. So let's talk about this, because this was making the news cycles, and I was kind of shocked to hear this. But let's get into this a little bit. One day after their news of their split broke, Nicole Kidman has filed for a divorce from Keith Urban. In the document, she states the couples had undergone marital difficulties and irreconcilable differences. I always wonder what the hell that means. Like, what the hell did you do that it's irreconcilable? I mean, that's a lie. Let's see. Kidman seeks the primary residential parents of their two daughters, and neither she nor Urban get child or spousal support. Yeah, okay. Interesting stuff. Think about it. Think about it real quick. You go through a breakup, and it's a tough thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Going through a breakup regardless, it's tough. It's not an easy thing. And now, besides that, because you're popular, you have to explain to the world what the hell's going on. That's a rough one to go through, man. Just think about it for a moment. Just think about what you have to probably deal with all that crap. That sounds like a terrible idea. Sounds like a terrible idea.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, let's talk about the numbers. The Dow jumped, 81 points to close at 46,397 on Tuesday. The S&P went up by 27 points to close at 6,688, and the NASDAQ jumped 68 points to close at 22,660. West Texas Intermediate closed at $62 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.15, and Bitcoin went up on Tuesday, trading right around $114.7 thousand. And tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $174,000, listen to me, $174 million jackpot, or an $80.7 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you still have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. What else do we got? Okay, so let's get into this. We're going to get into show business. So we're going to get into some of the show business stuff in regards to what we're going to talk about here for a moment. Prosecutors are asking that an unrepentant Sean Combs is to be sentenced to more than 11 years. His ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, also asked for a significant time behind bars over fears that he or an associate will come after her family after she testified against him. I hope that your decision considers the truth at hand and that the jury failed to see, that she wrote in part to the judge. Due to be sentenced on Friday, Combs faces up to 20 years after he was convicted for 2 prostitution counts. 20 years for 2 prostitution counts. What do you think here? Now, of course, this is coming according to the New York Post. What's your thought process on the whole thing? Now, keep in mind, as we are talking about what he was convicted for, and then the other stuff that was thrown out. Now, keep in mind, as you are going through the thing of public opinion, the thought of public opinion here, technically, you should be throwing out the things that he wasn't convicted for. Even though they were brought up, even though they were not pretty, That is not what he's being convicted for. He's being convicted for 2 counts of prostitution. So what are you considering? Because, the court of public opinion, regardless of what happens, will not change. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here over the next little tidbit. That is for sure. Think about that. I mean, a lot of people will have a lot of doubts about some of the stuff, and then some people will have no doubts about some of the stuff.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Denise Richards' divorce drama. A recent court filing suggests that Denise Richards' estranged husband, Aaron Pfeiffer's, may call her ex-husband, Charlie Sheen, and former Housewives co-star, Brandy Glavelson, to testify. Let's see, Aaron's attorney says that the two can speak to Richards' alleged history on not being truthful in the drug and alcohol abuse. Many may recall that the alleged rumors of Richards and Glanville hooked up while she was married to Aaron, though Richards denies the affair. This is according to page 6. There you go. That's what's going on there. What else? Barron Trump recently shut down the entire floor of the Trump Tower for a date. Insiders say that the extreme situation was strictly for security measures. No word on who his date was. Meanwhile, Trump currently lives in the White House while he attends classes at D.C. campus of NYU. This is according to The Independent. I mean, that's one hell of a date. Think about that real quick. You're in Trump Tower. You're closing down a whole floor because you're on a date. I mean, what's going to be the expectancy level after that? That's going to be an interesting one for sure as we are talking. Okay, Rolling Stones guitarist Ronnie Wood says that the band's new album is done. The follow-up to the 2023's album, the track are expected to be released next year. Wood also reveals the plans to do some tour dates with bandmates Mick Jagger and Keith Richards next year. This is according to The Mirror. Okay, I'll give you one. Let me give you 2 more. I got 2 more real quick. Jay Cutler is halfway through his 4-day jail stint. The former QB turned himself into the Tennessee jail on Monday and will remain there until Friday morning. The sentence comes after Cutler pleaded guilty to DUI from October of 2024 incident. He will also pay $350 fine to be on supervised probation for a year and attend DUI safety classes. This is according to People magazine. So there you go. And then I got one more. Have you heard of this song called Golden? And I'm talking about somebody called Huntrix. It's their hit song that topped the Billboard Hot 100 for the 7th week in a row, making it the longest leading #1 from a movie in the charts in 67 years. It ties TLC's Waterfalls as the second longest leading Hot 100 hits ever by an all-women's group, and the #1 song in the categories is Destiny's Child with Independent Woman Part 1. Golden is also the sole longest leading hit in an animated group in the Hot 100 archives. I want you to think about this. This is a kids movie that is rocking the #1 spot. And believe me, here's the problem. It's a pretty decent song, which makes it even more interesting to me when it's all said and done. Anyways, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get into our main story because it's about that time.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
See, now I'm thinking about that Golden song. Yeah, this is not going to be a great thing because I'm going to be thinking about it. And then I'll be like, should I post lyrics? Should I talk about lyrics? Anyways, let's talk about the main story. Let's talk about some of those things that one wants to talk about, but then we're never sure if we should talk about it. If we should talk about these things that in life become more and more interesting as we go, or if we should talk about things in life that don't matter. I mean, I don't know. There's a hard time in regards of what we do for work. And listen, I'm not saying there's a job out there that's extremely easy, but being a quote-unquote safety professional has an interesting ring sometimes. And I say this from the bottom of my heart as I'm putting this, because I look at it from the standpoint of you have one of the most difficult jobs out there. Because look at it from this standpoint. You can't fix everything. People want you to fix everything. People expect you to know a little bit of everything that's going on within the organization. Now, I'm bringing some of this up today because I want you to think about this. Think about every safety program that you've ever been involved with. There's good ones, there's bad ones, there's ugly ones. There are some that are not programs that come across as programs. There are some that are programs that should have never been programs. But think about it. Was the program, was the safety aspect inside of the organization used to make sure that the people were safe? Or were they used as a disciplinary track? Yeah, you heard me on that one. A disciplinary track. And what do you mean by disciplinary track? Was it used in your organization to discipline the people that you work with? Because you are aware that there has been times inside of most organizations that people are terminated for not following safety protocol. Terminated. So, was it for them to be safe? Or was it from the aspect of looking for a disciplinary action of getting the person out of there? I know. It's a weird one because here's the thing. How do you look at it? How do you have the conversation? How do you have the information? The other portion to think about is as you're going through this, you can either learn or improve or blame and punish. But you can't do both because here's the thing. If you go down the disciplinary track with people using safety aspect for the whole thing, what are you doing? Because if you fire them, what did you learn? The moment you fire someone because of a safety related aspect, how are you going to do an investigation afterwards? How are you going to investigate the stuff that needs to be done? It becomes a really weird one. And that's the fun part that I like to talk about. Because if you take a look at it and you go, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, and let's go ahead and investigate a little bit more into this, who are you going to talk to? That's where it all gets strange from time to time. It's not the easiest aspect to have some of these conversations from sometimes. So think about that today. As we are going through portion of this conversation, did you learn and improve or did you blame and punish? Because you can't do both. And was it a disciplinary track the whole time, or was safety being really used to protect the people?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Radio Big.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author Jay Allen, PhD. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Our station is so big that you don't have to do much to make it work for you. Radio Big.
I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea, I'll see the sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine.
Okay, it's time to break it down. Here we are, 45 minutes past the top of the hour, as we are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday, and it is very lovely. Okay, a lot of stuff happening inside of the multiverse as we are hanging out. This song right here that we're taking a listen to is Sunshine by LUCØ. I know, you've heard it before. I like it. Songs readily available on Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. I would say give it a little streamer-eamer action. Song's called Sunshine by LUCØ. Yeah, I know. This is the stuff that kind of gets me in trouble because I just don't know when to stop. I know. Give me that techno stuff and I just don't know what to do. Yep. Dangerous. Anyways, thanks to LUCØ for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Okay, so let's start talking right away about some other stuff that is going on. If anything, this might be the most important thing that I ever tell you in my lifetime. So let me tell you about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know where the people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's going to be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, sleeping disorders. Let's see, self-injury. Did I say sleeping disorders? I meant eating disorders, not sleeping disorders. That sounded terrible. So eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, I'm going to tell you, it could change everything for you. There's so much good information on that website, so many good resources, that it is one of those things that every time that I go there, I'm always amazed with how they keep it updated and the things that are going on. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Okay, and some other news. Let's start talking. Could it be that the so-called golden age of service providers of getting consumers to sign on what once seemed like an unlimited number of monthly subscription fees is over? Maybe so. According to the U.S. Household Survey, are cutting back sharply on subscriptions, trimming the average to 4.1 services in 2024 and 2.8 in 2025. According to a research self-financial rising costs of main drivers are the price hikes from Disney Plus, Hulu, Paramount, and Apple TV, pushing many to cancel. Nearly half of their subscribers say that they won't tolerate further increases. And the convenience is no longer enough to justify the subscription. Password sharing crackdown backfired, with many turning to piracy instead of paying despite the cutbacks. Households still spend about $127 annually on unused services, often result in forgotten free trials. Popular services risk include Apple TV Plus, Stars, and ESPN Plus, while food delivery apps like Caviar, and Grubhub see high rates on non-use. Consumers say that they're embracing more deliberate, value-focused subscription choices. I also have so many subscription services that I'm considered a subscription for managing my subscriptions. Yeah, I've considered it. And I didn't choose the subscription life. The subscription life auto-renewed me. I was taking a look a few days ago. I'm amazed at how many subscription services I have. And it's kind of amazing because I'll sit back and take a look at them and then get upset that I'm like, why do I have so many subscription services? I don't get it. And then plus the stuff that we have to subscribe to for work. I know. They're not going anywhere. If anything, they're multiplying. And that's just kind of how the way that it goes. Anyways, with that being said, I have somebody with more positive outcome in life in regards of talking about some of the stuff that's going on. So why don't we go ahead and do this? Why don't we bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about what exactly is going on with the Motivation Minute? Because, man, if that guy can't get you motivated, you probably have some issues.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Christine. The great writer G.K. Chesterton once said, "To love means loving the unlovable. To forgive means pardoning the unpardonable. Hope means hoping when everything seems hopeless. Faith means believing the unbelievable." I absolutely love this quote. When it was sent to me, I stopped for a moment to read it a few times to make some sense of all the stuff that was going through my mind. And yes, if you can't love the unlovable, that's not really loving. You also need to be able to pardon the unpardonable and have hope when everything seems hopeless. These things will stretch you out of your comfort zone, but that is amazing because that's where you find yourself growing in your faith.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Character and competence are two sides of the same coin. Character focuses on who we are. Competent focuses on what we do. Character is about being God's person in every situation. Competence is about doing God's work in every situation. Character is what God is doing in us. Competence is what God is doing through us. Exodus 18:21 says, "But select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens." Lord Jesus, develop our character as we spend time with you. Develop our competency as we are doing ministry. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotions.com.
Here is the news on the Radio R Safety Show.
President Trump announced the deployment of federal troops to Portland, Oregon to protect immigration and customs enforcement facilities amid ongoing protests.
Local officials, including Governor Tina Kotek, expressed opposition to them, stating that the city has the situation under control without federal intervention. The president's directive allows for the use of full force if necessary, though details remain unclear. Kyle Norris reporting.
The United Nations Security Council vetoed a resolution proposed by Russia and China regarding the Ukraine conflict, underscoring persistent geopolitical divisions.
The vote highlighted ongoing international tensions over the war that has lasted for years. Western allies led the opposition, arguing the proposal failed to address key issues of sovereignty. Russia accused the Council of bias in its response. Further diplomatic efforts are expected in the coming weeks. Chris Anderson reporting.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faced a walkout by several delegates during his speech at the United Nations General Assembly.
The protest reflected widespread disapproval of Israel's policies in Gaza and the West Bank. Netanyahu defended his government's actions, emphasizing security needs. Critics, including human rights groups, called for accountability. The incident has sparked renewed calls for dialogue in the region. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Families of the 43 students who disappeared in Mexico in 2014 marked the 11th anniversary by demanding justice and truth from authorities.
The case remains a symbol of unresolved violence and corruption in the country. Protests drew thousands, pressing for an independent investigation. Government officials pledged continued efforts to resolve the matter. Activists vow to keep the issue in the public eye until closure is achieved. Benjamin Wright reporting.
President Trump directed the Justice Department to indict former FBI Director James Comey for allegedly lying to Congress.
The move is part of broader actions against figures from previous administrations. Comey has denied the allegations, calling them politically motivated. Legal experts anticipate a lengthy court process. The indictment has intensified intensified partisan debates in Washington. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A potential government shutdown looms as funding runs out, with the White House threatening to fire federal workers if Democrats do not support the proposed bill.
Negotiations between congressional leaders and the administration remain stalled. Both parties blame each other for the impasse, citing disagreements over spending priorities. Essential services would continue, but many programs face disruption. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A shooting at a church in Michigan killed one person and injured 9 others, prompting President Trump to announce that the FBI is leading the investigation.
The incident occurred near a residential area outside Flint. Authorities have not released details about the suspect or motive. Community leaders called for unity and support for the victims. The probe includes examining possible connections to local tensions. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking truth.
Definitely sounds like something you might want to avoid, that's for sure. 55 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's start talking right away about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2017, Stephen Paddock kills 58 people and injures 489 at a concert in Las Vegas. It's the deadliest mass shooting in American history. The 64-year-old fired more than 1,000 rounds from his suite at the Mandalay Bay Hotel into the crowd at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. Paddock shot himself in the hotel room as officers closed in. The motive is still unknown. Let's talk about some birthdays that happened or that are happening today. Livy Dunn turns 23. Angela Gariante turns 32. Brie Larson turns 36. Caribe Hine turns 37. Matthew Daddario turns 38. Beck Bennett, 41. Rupert Friend turns 44. Sarah Drew, 45. Sherry Salm turns 51. Zach Galifianakis turns 56. Theresa May, 69. Randy Quaid turns 75. And Julie Andrews turns 90. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's National Kale Day, World Vegetarian Day, International Music Day, National Homemade Cookies Day, National Hair Day, National Walk and Bike to School Day, National Fire Pup Day, World Financial Planning Day, and Random Acts of Poetry. Yeah, of Poetry Day. So there you go. Also, in some other stuff, if you need a rando-ando for today, listen to this one. This is my dad joke for the day. My wife kicked me out because my terrible Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. But don't worry. I'll return. You get it? You get it? Okay. Just checking. Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. If you were forced to wear a T-shirt with a single word on it for a year, what word would you choose? If you were forced to wear a T-shirt with a single word on it for a year, what word would you choose? There you go. Something to think about. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. The average woman has 5 of these, but only uses 2 of them regularly. What are they? Perfumes. Duh. Just saying. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. Would love to see you over there as we talk about the world of music and entertainment. It is hour 2 and 3 of the Jay Allen of the Morning Show. If you don't want to go over there, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to hold it against you. But what we will end up doing is going over there doing that stuff, but you can stay here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he will talk about the world of safety consulting. Yep, that's what he does. Always a good time hanging out with him, no doubt about that. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Quick decisions are unsafe decisions. Think about that. Most people think that anyways. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
I'll be